Good morning and happy 24th of October. I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are. It is duck weather again here in Blighty today, so I am not babbling on the bench. We have sunshine 1 minute and then the next minute it is torrential downpour, so excuse the light if it's a bit dark. I keep changing the exposure, but I'm hoping this is okay. So I'm sitting here with my cup of tea and I'm wondering what I'm going to do with my day. I have phoned the vet to get Molly an appointment. Don't panic, there's nothing wrong. She just needs her annual booster doing, so that's going to be coming up next week. I phoned the garage because, don't panic, the car's not, you know, broken down or anything. It's literally, I've been waiting for a replacement cover for over the battery, so they're going to fit that for me Friday. And I'm unsure what I'm going to do with myself, so I think I'm just going to have a day off. This is half term for me, so I'm not working this week, and I think I'm going to have a nice crafty day and catch up with a few podcasts. So I really want to catch up with Emma from Potter and Bloom, who does crochet and knitting. She's a wonderful podcaster, and also Lali B Knits, who is Natalie, and Natalie is from Ireland, and it's quite a new podcast, so I will put the links to both of those down below if you haven't checked them out already. So I think I'm going to do a bit of spinning, bit of knitting. I want to do some weaving on my clasp weft weave. I really want to get that kind of almost done, or done. Don't think I'll get it done today, but I really would like to get a wriggle on with that. And I think I might sort out my stash as well, so I might go through that with you and just kind of organise it a bit differently. I am wearing my Soldotna today. Just stand up so you can have a little look-see. And this is a dress that I made several years ago. So yeah, wearing the Soldotna. And what else was I going to say? Oh yes, thank you for all your lovely comments on yesterday's vlog. I was fine. Obviously reflective day for me, but I was fine. Mind you, until I edited the video and then I watched it back through and it did bring a tear to my eye. But yes, I'm absolutely fine, and it was really lovely to hear all your comments, and also the amount of people who have been touched by cancer, and in particular ovarian cancer. My mum thought she had IBS, or she was told she had IBS for quite some time, but it turned out to be something very different. So I will leave that list of symptoms down below, again, just so you can keep it in your mind, and you can have an easy blood test to check whether or not it could be ovarian cancer. I've had that blood test twice because I have no real family history other than my mum. Yeah, so it's a really easy blood test you can have done at the doctor's. Anyway, so thank you for that. I think I'm going to get on with my day. I'm going to finish my tea and yeah, get a podcast on, I think, and I will touch base with you a bit later. the sun's out, and so I've taken advantage of that and got my amaryllis bulb out of the shed. So it's all planted up. It seems okay, it seems nice and dry, so it's been hibernating, I guess, in the shed all summer. And if I don't know, some of you might have seen my Vlogmas from last year, but Phyllis the amaryllis was so beautiful that I kept her, popped her in a dark box in a reasonably cool place, and yeah, I wanted to plant her up, so I've planted her up. Now the other thing that I've got to do is I took some cuttings from some plants quite some time ago. This one here is a monstera, this one, and this little one, I'm not sure, it's a leopard, something leopardy, but I really can't remember. But as you can see, their roots have grown really nicely, and I quite often do that with plants. I'll just chop a bit off and stick it in water and see what happens, or stick it in some soil to see what happens. In fact, I've got a cactus that I've done that with. So with this one here that sits on my kitchen windowsill, you can see down there that some leaves have dropped off. So I just popped them in the soil and I've got new ones growing. Check my little toadstool. Jack and Jen bought me that from a craft fair for my birthday. It's really cute. So yeah, so I often will just stick a plant or a bit of a plant in something and see what happens. But this has been growing like this for quite some time, so I really need to pop them on, and hopefully we'll have more plants. So I thought it was time to sort out the stash and have a little look and see what I've got in there. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you a few books. So sometimes I get questions from people who are new to things like weaving or spinning or colour work and things like that. So I just thought I would share with you a few books that I found really helpful. So the first one is a dyeing book, and it's Wild Colour. This is by Jenny Dean, and it's about natural dyeing, but it's really useful about plants you can grow in the garden, what sort of colour they produce. Yeah, really useful, different mordants, different vegetables, animal fibres, things like that, and just kind of how you go about it really. So a really good book. Another one that I found really useful when I started crocheting was Crocheted Succulents by Emma Varnum. I haven't got my glasses on, so I don't even know if I'm reading that properly. Yeah, Emma Varnum. And this was really useful. There's some really simple patterns in there. I did the bull cactus for my friend Sally and Jack. But there's some lovely, lovely little projects in that book as well. For colour work, I found this one really interesting. It's Alice Starmore's Charts for Colour Knitting, and it's just full of different charts. Really inspirational, like, especially for mittens and cows, things like that. You can kind of design your own, so that's a really good buy. And the last one I wanted to talk about was the Weaver's Idea book, and this was really useful when I first got my loom. Because it takes you through all the different types of weaves that you could possibly do. From open lace weaving, how to use pickup sticks, ones for fringy effects. There's just loads, different colours, and there's also some little projects and things in there as well that they walk you through, so that's really good. I've got another book here, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Okay. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Project bag, don't need that. So in here I have got loads of Jameson Smith. I keep all of my yarn stash now in these organza bags because I did have a moth infestation a couple of years ago now, and I caught it just at the beginning, but ever since I've never just left my yarn out, so that's why they're all in kind of bags. So yeah, this is a bag of all different oddments of Jameson Smith and just fingering weight, although in the bottom there I've got some random skein. Oh, I know what this was. This was from Die Candy, and it was called Pandemic, and it was one that she dyed up when COVID first hit. So I made a cowl out of that. I've just got a little bit left, so that's lurking in the bottom of that bag. So I always keep Jameson Smith yarn because for colour work you never know when you might need a ball, or just making some mittens, things like that, hats. I got here, in here I have a bit of a mixture. I've got my worsted weight Yarnadelic, which I showed you on my last podcast. I've got some beautiful yarn here from Peyton and Daughter that was sent to me as a lovely gift. It's absolutely beautiful. It's bright, bit bright on the camera, but really lovely. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I've got some more John Arbon Viola DK. This is in the Unpredictable colourway, and I made my poncho out of this. So I've got a bit left. There's some really lovely heathers in there. And I have some Cookston Crafts in their mushroom colourway, I believe it is. Yes, in mushroom colourway. And it's got some beautiful speckles in there as well. So yeah, I've actually got two of those, and I was going to make a cardigan out of it, and I started the cardigan, but I didn't like the way the cardigan was knitting up, and I got a bit bored with it, so I've ripped it back, so I'm going to save it for another project. Right, in here, I've got my fibre that I showed on my last podcast from Hilltop Cloud, so I shall keep that in there. Okay, what else? Right, in here, now I made put an order in at Wool Warehouse because I wanted some floof and some other yarn for a special project I'm making for someone that I can't tell you about because they might be watching. So I also thought I would try this Sheepy's Downtown sock yarn. Never tried it before. So I just got a small ball. It's ever so soft. It's absolutely lovely. And it's called After Dark. It's merino and nylon, but it is so soft. It is really, really soft. So yeah, I'm going to give that a whirl, see what happens with that. And I was looking at some Sheepy's Scrumptious because it's a new yarn that they've brought out. I know that's not how you pronounce Sheepy's, but that's how I say it. And I kind of looked at it, and then when my order came, 2 balls of it appeared. So yeah, it's made with recycled plastic bottles, which is really an interesting concept. So it doesn't feel particularly soft. It's 50% recycled polyester, 50% acrylic, and it does feel slightly acrylic-y, which kind of sets my teeth on edge a little. But I think it might be quite nice to knit up. So I am going to use it. I got 2 balls of this colour. It's quite heathered. It's quite lovely. Got 2 balls of that, and this is colour Fresh Berries, and then it says Panna Cotta. So I don't know what that means. It's colour 357. So yeah, so I've got 2 of those, and I think it might make a really nice ranunculus. I'm going to have to keep doing that in my glasses because otherwise I know it's really annoying when the reflection from the window is shining in my glasses. So yeah, but I do like the colour. Maybe I should make another adapted ranunculus. Yeah, in fact, I have here some floof. This is where I'm getting ideas, you see. I have some floof. I have some Cumulus from Fibre Space, and this is, let's have a look, it's in the colour Moonlight, and it's Suri Alpaca and Silk. There's the colour, but look, that could be a ranunculus. That's exciting. I might leave that out. Okay. In here I've just got my mohair, so I've got some Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and I've got some Drops Kid Silk as well in there. So it's my little mohair bag. What else have I got? We're in the freezer bags now. We're in the deep dark part of the stash. I've got a skein here that a lovely friend bought me, and this is by Somerset Yarns. Look at those colours. And this is called, it's one of a kind, it's called After the Storm. So that's that. And I've got 2 50-gram skeins of socks, yeah, that I bought when I went to Unravel quite a few years ago. And I always thought I would make a pair of colourwork socks, but it hasn't happened yet. Russell. Okay, I've got a bit of dishcloth yarn. In here, I've also got some things I talked about in my last podcast. I've got the beehive yarns and the combos for my Right Around the Corner shawl, which I still haven't decided on, by the way. Can't decide whether to use that one or that one. What I might do is I might swatch them actually and see which one I prefer. I've got 2 of these lovely skeins, and again this was from a friend for Christmas a couple of years ago, and it's called Leonora, and it's just merino nylon. It's from Buzzing Yarns, hand-dyed in Scotland. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking it would be a really nice weaving project, that one. Really lovely colours, like those. Okay, I should see the mess that's appearing. Okay, in here I have my pixie yarns that I showed you last, I don't know, a few days ago on my vlog. I've got, whoops, just trying to sort them out. I've got these 2 skeins, well, 2 sock sets. This one was actually a sock set. This is called Golden Days, and this one is called Taut, and I bought another mini in Beach to make another sock set. So that's those. The other sock set that I have is a Fab Funky Fibres, this one here, and this is called Tropical Twist, and it's a self-striping, and I've put in that another mini skein, which is one of mine, to go with it. So that's all ready. So that's the sock set bag. Oh, I now have a load of hand spun. So this is, some of my hand spun projects are in here. I've got this one, which I can't remember what it was. It was a gradient set, and I made my strange brew out of this. So this is what I've got left. I've got, this is gin and tonic. I can't remember where this was from. I want to say Fibre Hut, but I can't be sure. It's got these lovely nips in, and this is going to be a hat because it's gorgeous. These two are John Arbon spins. Don't know what I've done to my skeins, they're a bit of a mess. This one here is Appledore in the Slack McGirdle colourway, and I can't remember what this one was. It was so long ago. There's those. Oh my goodness, now this was one of my really early spins, and I can tell because it's a bit rope-like. Again, I might use this in a weaving project because I don't think it's good enough to knit with or crochet with. There we go. And this one, I've got a label on this one, I was very organised. This is Felfew Fibres Ladies of the Lakes. So yeah, it's Merino, Corriedale and New Zealand Merino and Suffolk. And it was Rolags. First time I think I used Rolags. But yeah, as I said, it's, I mean, if you look at the spin, if you look really closely, it's not very consistent. It's quite tight in places. And the less air you get in your spinning, the more rope-like it is. There's too much twist in it. And then I've just got some other colours. These are all John Arbon. And this one's John Arbon as well. And I was making my Sneffeld shawl out of this, but I really didn't get on with the pattern. So I ripped it all back, and I will use it in something else. Right, that's the hand spun bag. In here I have a bit of an assortment again. I have some Cheviot Blue by Whistlebear. Gorgeous yarn, Whistlebear yarn. I made my Carlina out of this, and some kind of, I don't know if I've got it actually, no I haven't got it anymore, and kind of a natural, slightly pinky but more natural yarn. I've got some Harvest Hues. This was my Falling Leaves sweater, so there's not 100 grams there, but lovely yarn, John Arbon. I've got some Woolly Knits yarn. I made Jack the No Internet Cow and a Musselburgh out of these for last Christmas. And these ones are Marina Skewers yarns. These are gorgeous, and these will be a hat. It's her Mendip base, but they're just lovely colours. Look at those. Hope they're not blowing out too much. So this one is a natural eucalyptus and iron dye, and this one is Ore on the Stormy base. Gorgeous, lovely. Okay, that's that bag. Put that over there. Should I do a jack and like throw it? Okay. In here I've got some commercial sock yarn. I've got West Yorkshire Spinners in the vintage tinsel and some red, which I showed on my last podcast. I've got some Regia design line. This is 03655. So that's a nice one. And I've also got Pheasant, which I made a pair of socks out of not too long ago as well. So I've got a bit of that left. Getting through, there's not much else to show you. Okay. Down here I've got a load of yarn, and I was making a Stephen West shawl. And I bought, to make that shawl, some yarn by Laxton's, which is a really lovely yarn. And I bought 4 colours. And just sort my skeins out. And This one is called, it's not called anything, it's 001. This one is, oh no, it says 001 on all of them. So I don't know what the colours are. Obviously the dye lot is 001, but they're the colours that I bought. And I really like the colours, but I wasn't enjoying knitting the shawl, so I ripped it all back. I've got loads left. Some of it's obviously in cakes rather than in skeins. And I'm thinking I might make like a stripy jumper or something with that. Kind of fancy like a sweatshirty jumper to kind of lounge around in, like an oversized one. So I've got that to use. In here I've got basically odds and sods. This is kind of a crochet bundle. I made the cactus out of these. No, I made these. Oh, I still have a ball left over from my Amay cardigan. There's a brown cacti. So that's kind of just an odd ball of a bag. And then in here I have 2 cones of woolly knits. I'll just get them out. So I have apple green, and I have the blue. I can't remember what the blue was called actually. Let me have a look. Summer Storm in the blue. Now I want to make a jumper out of one of these, and the other book I was going to show you was Knitting from the North, which Jack bought me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and there's a jumper in here that I would really like to make, and it's the Loki jumper, and this is it here. How lovely is that? So yeah, so I'm thinking that one of those, possibly the green actually, with white, and I have got some white Jameson Smith that I can use, and I will, I think I might make that. I want her hair though. Can I have her hair? I mean, I want the jumper, but I also want her hair. Yeah, so I've got 2 cones of woolly knits. I've got a few odd mini skeins down there, and right, oh, bear with. And lastly, I've got a bag, my flamingo bag, and it's one of the first bags I ever made actually. And in here I've got all sorts. So I've got my Let Lopi for my invocation shawl that I'm making at the moment. I've also got another Let Lopi from my Braids of Grass sweater. I have a plate of Pluto Lopi that is a right mess. My goodness. I don't know what's happened to that. It's all kind of, it's a stitch marker hanging in it. So some Pluto Lopi in there, and I've also got a couple of balls. This is Garthenor, and again this is John Arbon, and I've just kept these little bits because that green is superb. Yeah, lovely. And that, I think, is about it. I have got my basket full of sheepy soft fun for a crochet blankie that I want to make, and I have got a couple of pots with bits of minis in that I've had before, but that's my stash, so I don't think that's too bad, is it? I think that's okay. But it's given me some ideas, especially this. Especially that, because that would be a really quick knit, and then it would be out of the stash and it would save quite a bit of room. Not too bad. Anyway, I've got to tidy all this up, get some sense of order back, and then I think I'm going to do some more crafting.